Erst diese Saison brillierte sie in jener Rolle, die der Traum jeder Sopranistin ist, Tosca. Nun sollte die preisgekrönte Opernsängerin Ewa Plonka gerade in den Vorbereitungen für ihre Rolle in Turandot für die Oper im Steinbruch sein. Doch sie sitzt in ihrer Wahlheimat New York fest. Ich habe sie via Videotelefonie erreicht. So Ewa, thank you so much for doing this interview. Just a short explanation. You are Polish descent but living in New York. And welcome to Austrian ADABEI-TV.
Thank you very much, Sasa. Thank you for having me.
It feels like the two of us are living in a different world at the moment, and I'm not talking about you being an international opera singer and me being an Austrian journalist. It's more about the countries we live in. Austria had some quite strict restrictions. We had a lockdown for a few weeks. Everything was closed except of doctors, pharmacies and supermarkets, but we now proceed further loosening the restrictions of the coronavirus lockdown, and it actually works at the moment quite well. But New York is totally different. First of all, you never had these restrictions. On the other hand, we see from the newspapers and online that they're building actually mass graveyards. At the moment, the numbers are about like 400,000 infected people, 22,000 deaths. So it's actually a really horrible situation. How does it feel for you to live in New York at the moment?
Well, the situation is terrible, and quite frankly, people are more and more fearful going on the streets. But saying that, the numbers are going down, so which is very, very hopeful and good. I'm not sure anymore what to believe in. This has been really, really crazy roller coaster with this whole COVID-19. But for certain, we should stay home and wear mask and definitely stay within 6 feet from each other. There are a lot of people still walking on streets because we have to exercise. This is the second month. So people need to go on the street, and of course certain streets are close to traffic, so people could do so. People could just freely walk. But there has not been such a lockdown where we could not be going out at all. It was just advised to stay home.
Spain, because for example in Spain they were not allowed to go outside. There was even like military in the street, so it has never been like this in New York.
In this area in general, I think because of the high density of population, there are a lot of people here. I think that this is wise that people actually do stay a little bit farther from each other than in other cities. I'm not sure why it hasn't been exercised, but one can hope for the best, really. Yeah. You see how people are trying to avoid one another, going out to the other side of the street or making this funny slalom. It's just, it's kind of like from bad nightmare or bad sci-fi movie. It's really weird. I am hoping this is going to be over soon. In terms of solidarity, definitely you feel that we are all in it together. And the only thing I could say about it is that everybody has opportunity and time to really think about what's happening or think about their life or have a moment to reflect a little bit, because we are not preoccupied with the business of everyday life. And so that also, we are in that kind of mindset together as well. And you can tell, you can really feel it.
So, as I mentioned before, the number of deaths is horrible. It has been 22,000, I think. Of course, New York is a huge city, but still it's horrible. And I saw that they are actually doing a mass graveyard because they can't do all the funerals at the same time, which is, I can tell you, I almost started crying when I saw this, that people can't bury their loved ones. So how do you feel when you read this news about a city you live in?
how may I feel? I mean, it's hard to say, express with words what this could mean to anyone. Personally, I'm really lucky that I do not have anybody who would suffer from this disease or who would die from it. Mm-hmm. So it's really, it's almost surreal. It's almost like it doesn't happen. It's not happening. I don't know how to say it. It's just surreal. The only thing you can do is make sure that you try to keep everyday life as normal as you can possibly do, and give yourself some little structure. Try not to stay focused on the bad news, because bad news will not bring you higher in vibration and positive. It will not. So I think artists have beautiful opportunity to really rethink or even think deeper about their, I don't want to say mission because that sounds very religious, but their place in the world. Maybe now our platform is a little bit limited, mm-hmm. And I do not feel that myself. This is very personal. Mm-hmm. It's not the same when you do not have contact one-to-one, one artist with one audience. It doesn't, for me, it doesn't really feel the same. So I'm just waiting patiently until this all will be over and I will be able to reconnect with people and with double force and double love. So that time is special in a way because of that, because we get to appreciate what we have every day.
That's true. And especially you're traveling for your career from Germany to Poland, from Finland to Italy, to France, uncountable venues in the US. You are used to travel a lot for your career. How is it for you to stay at one place and you actually cannot leave? How does this feel for you?
Not good.
I can imagine.
We're kind of used to waiting. Waiting is part of the process, mm-hmm. because you have to wait for your turn in a rehearsal room before you go and try your part. You wait for the engagement. You wait in your dressing room before your call on stage. So we are very much used to the idea of waiting. Mm-hmm. But the whole lockdown, it's just very bizarre. I'm so ready to go somewhere. Like if this wouldn't be happening, I would be, and I wouldn't have to go to whatever my designated engagement would be. I'm already thinking, where will I go when this will be over? And I just love daydreaming like that. That keeps me going.
At the moment, you should be probably in Austria, because you would have been almost in Austria for Oper in Steinbruch with Daniel Serafin. So you're not coming. And I can imagine, as you told before, like you miss it a lot, like being on stage, connecting with the people, with the audience. What do you miss most?
Excitement, the adrenaline, the exchange of vibration, the love, the actual physical act of singing with other people in a room, the physicality of it, everything, just everything. The weird situation when you go to the rehearsal room and you don't know anybody, but yet you need to connect on this very deep level immediately. That's challenging. I miss the challenge. I miss the adrenaline, that certain thing, which is non-verbal. I guess it's more of an abstract, but we all feel it, and that's why we all fell in love with this gig.
Yes, I can imagine. At the moment, you would be in practice for the premiere of Oper in Steinbruch, Turandot. How did you take the news of cancellation?
Well, my first thought was, it wasn't a thought. Mm-hmm. It was a reaction. I may have not shed a few tears because I really was looking forward to it. But the good news is that we will be rescheduling. It will happen, but in a year. So that's very, very, very good news. In all this stream of bad news, this is one of the best news I've received, because most of the engagements have been cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is the only one which has been rescheduled for a year. So I will have beautiful opportunity to portray Princess Turandot, and it will happen. So that's good news. I was very much looking forward to it. My suitcases were packed. Actually, to be honest, they are still packed. They are sitting right there. I don't know why. Maybe I'm in denial, but I just couldn't get myself to opening it up and this would all become a reality. I know it is a reality, but somehow they are still packed. I probably shouldn't pack it at this point. But the reaction was just responsibility. The festival has been extremely responsible to do this. So we absolutely understand it. This is very understandable, and there was no other way. Besides, even if the lockdown would not be happening at the time, I believe that the audience would be a little bit spooked probably, and not want to be participating in an event of 4,000 plus people. Mm-hmm. So I absolutely understand it was a very reasonable solution and beautiful way of preserving whatever the work was already put into the production, because people have started working not only on their roles and the voice, but also on costumes. I've heard that the set has been already being prepared. Beautiful, right? So of course we understand it will happen just in a year.
But last season, or actually the season right now, you played Tosca, and it's a role most sopranos dream of. And then there would be Austria with Oper and Steinbruch. So how do you keep your head up in these difficult times when you're actually on such a high on your career, and you get to play all these roles you ever dreamed of?
You are right. Both Tosca and Turandot are heights of the heights. It's definitely summit of the soprano's career. I was lucky enough that I almost started with those. It's just the nature of my voice, and that's that. How do I keep my head up? Well, I have quite a few roles to learn, so I do not say right here, there. For now, three. Probably next month I will search for other 2. There are so many. Definitely right now I'm preparing for, hopefully it will happen. I'm really praying that it will. My debut as Lady Macbeth, and I'm studying the role at the moment. And of course there's Aida and Turandot on my on my piano stand right now. But listen, I know it's difficult, but I think that we can absolutely take an advantage of this abundance of free time, mm-hmm. and do whatever you always wanted to do. So I always wanted to have time to really sit and learn all the roles I have to learn, read gazillion books, which I never had time to read, and deepen whatever interests I have. And I have quite a few. So I'm sure that you too. So I'm sure that we all appreciate a little bit time off from the rat race and running around like crazy.
And that your neighbors are really happy at the moment, because they get a free concert every day when you're practicing. So have you got already new neighbors, for example, because they said like, oh my God, are you the one who's singing? Or how does that feel? Because normally you would do your preparation and the rehearsal in the opera or somewhere with colleagues, but now you're doing it at home alone.
Well, I am so happy and fortunate that my neighbors do not complain, but I'm extremely respectful. I never practice more than 2 hours a day, and I always try to practice within the window because we have international neighborhood. After siesta and before dinner. So, and in the winter, of course, I do not pass practicing beyond 6 p.m. because of the, I don't know, somehow I associate dark weather, dark skies with time to go to sleep. So I always have been practicing at home. back in the day when I was a pianist, concert pianist, I was practicing for hours. And that once caused a little trouble that I had to move out of the building.
Really?
But now with singing, you can do so much outside of the instrument practice, meaning dry practice in your head with the score without using the voice. So that's really helpful when you live in a building. Mm-hmm. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, but if I would be you and if I would have your extraordinary talent, I would open all the windows and let everyone know how I can sing and play.
Quite opposite. We all make sure that all the windows are closed. That all, in fact, we have a little muffin. I do not want to impose on other people's freedom for silence. So if they choose, they could get a ticket and come and listen to my singing. But what if they choose not? I shall be always respectful. Mm-hmm. But I remember I had one neighbor quite not such a long time ago, who every time I practiced, he poured himself a glass of wine and went to the room the nearest to the sharing wall, and he would spend evening like that. So that was beautiful and very rare. I know how lucky I am. I really am.
Ewa bleibt derzeit zu Hause. Selbst das Einkaufen übernimmt ihr Ehemann. Als Opernsängerin kann schon eine Erkältung gefährlich sein. Kehlkopf und Stimmbänder sind sehr sensibel. Auf was Ewa sonst noch achtet?
Today, really, during the pandemic, nothing changed, because every time I go in public, I really wear a mask, especially when it's cold. I'm one of a few people who actually do it. Everybody's different. Everybody's instrument is different. Mine is quite delicate, so I need to make sure that I take all the measures in order to preserve my health. Definitely hydration, and especially at night, because the winters in New York can be extremely dry for some reason, and summers humid. So in the winter, even now, I have humidifier in every room, especially the room I sleep. I make sure that the water is clean.
That's why your skin is so glowing. Now I know the secret. Because I read once, if you want to have a glow on your face, you need to humidify the air in your flat or in your house.
Thank you so much.
Not only for the voice, it's also a secret for the glow in your face. Now I know.
Probably lots of beautiful vitamins, if you can get them from the fresh vegetables and fruits, preferably organic. That's lovely. Listen, diet is a big one. Lots of sleep. I mean, I'm not saying 12 hours, but 8 minimum, I would say, 7.5. And whatever, just listen to your body, and you're born with this instrument. You just listen and follow. But something I like to do is improve my immune system, especially during this time. Mm-hmm. I just recently went through some beautiful 10-day fast, and just detox and take your vitamins and exercise. Try to detox this way as well.
Dear Ewa, thank you so much for the interview, that you actually took a lot of time to talk with me. I know the time difference was a bit challenging. I hope I see you the next time face to face for the interview Turandot in Oper im Steinbruch. Can't wait to finally meet you. And yeah, last to say is stay healthy and all the best for you and your family. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sasa, very much for having me. And I'd like to also wish you all the best. Stay sane and healthy. Sane mostly. And to the audience of Oper im Steinbruch, I'd like to invite you in a year. It will happen. It will be double force. We'll come at you with double energy. So please come and see us.